What can Ash Auto Group do for debtor attorneys? How can they help you file more cases? I'm here with Jonas Ash, owner of the #1 bankruptcy car dealership in the country. So much of our marketing has started to connect with the conversation the debtors have. Can I keep my car? Can I buy a car? All these different things. So figured we'd create a video on the different services that you do that helps debtor attorneys. And before we get into it, give us a little background on who you are, why you got in this business, because I think that's important to the whole conversation.
We started this business about 14 years ago at this point. My brother, myself, we've got some others on the executive team here. My brother and I lived together at the time. We had a couple extra vehicles and we thought we'd start a dealership on the side. We had no idea that the road would lead to becoming the #1 dealership in the country for helping bankruptcy filers and the firms that refer them over to us.
Yeah, you've had tremendous growth over the past number of years since we've working together. Congratulations on that. So what are the 7 ways you help debtor attorneys? Let's unpack these one at a time.
It's important people understand the difference between Ash Auto Group BK and really every other dealership out there. If you were helping bankruptcy clients with automotive needs, you can't just stick a toe in the water. You have to be fully committed to that model. A few different examples there. One is our team averages about 10 years or more experience dealing with bankruptcy clients and their automotive needs. We have to be experts at the 7s, at 13 process, be able to take those conversations wherever they might go. So it really starts with the expertise, just doing repetition and being able to meet these clients where they're at and make them feel safe and secure with the process.
And all you do is sell cars to people in bankruptcy. Like, that's it. You're not having people walk off the street and come in and buy that didn't have bankruptcy. It's 100% bankruptcy.
That is correct. I mean, our dealership is even located on a side street by design so that we don't get walk up or drive up traffic. So this has been thought out in advance for many years, every aspect of it. We might work with clients for a month, 6 months, sometimes a year before they're ever ready to purchase or move forward, depending on where they're at in the process. Every other dealership out there, it's a volume-based business. They want to get you in, get you out as quickly as possible, and they're just not set up to help these clients over the long term if that's what's needed.
Well, what they're trying to do is build the urgency and close, which is exactly what everybody hates about buying a car.
Correct.
No one likes the feeling of that faux urgency that's created if you buy now. Oh, I get it. So it's a different mindset. So #1 is understanding the bankruptcy mindset. It's understanding the vernacular, right? That's the first way you help bankruptcy attorneys. What's the second?
We do something that's unique here. It's called an Automotive Consult. And what that means is that we're really going to save legal time, paralegal time, attorney time, and it's a huge benefit to the firms because we are set up to do this. We actually have schedules that are open all day for auto consults, free auto consults with your clients. And that's something that we developed here. Other dealerships aren't going to do that because all they're trying to do is sell cars. We're actually trying to educate folks so they can make the best decisions for themselves. So, with an auto consult, they can call in. We've got a Calendly that they can schedule on, keeps it really easy. But usually they last about 10, maybe 15 minutes. People can step out at work if they need to talk to us. We find out if they're filing a Chapter 7 or 13. We talk about where they're at in the process, kind of give them an overview, make them comfortable with the automotive aspect of the filing process, which makes it much easier for the firms when they go back and talk to their legal counsel about what's next. We'll give them an appraisal on their vehicle. We'll talk about expected depreciation if they keep their vehicle. We get a lot of questions about the surrender process. How does that work? How does my vehicle get picked up? When does that happen? We can get a pre-approval or get the process started for that and really answer any other questions that are going to make the clients feel comfortable, not just moving forward with the vehicle, but moving forward with the bankruptcy process in general. And we're equipped to have those deep discussions and take as much time as we need to get the questions answered so that when they talk to their firms, their attorneys, or paralegals, it's a much more streamlined discussion question because we've already cleared the path for a lot of this.
From a marketing perspective, we know one of the biggest questions in debtor's mind is, what's going to happen to my car? Can I get a new car? When is the next time I'm going to be able to buy a car? And this is why I remember in this early conversation years ago, bringing up the free auto consult, right? Where it's we need to find out, this is us talking to debtors. We need to find out if you're going to keep your car or get a new one during the bankruptcy. And the debtor's like, well, what do you mean keep your car and get a new one? Like it retrains and shifts the mindset. It's a great way to change the perception of bankruptcy by asking that one question, giving them to, having you do that free consultation, and then having all this data they can take their debtor attorney.
When we have a scheduled auto consult, we have about a 98% compliance rate, meaning that they answer when we call because they're very interested in getting this information. And a lot of folks, it might not make sense to move forward with a vehicle purchase. It may not be the right time, but every person we do a consult with leaves with critical information that's going to help them in the process. You have to be able to refer to someone you trust. We work with many of the biggest firms across the country in different states, small firms, middle of the road size. And everyone, my conversations are very similar. If I didn't know that a place like Ash Auto Group UK existed, where they were just fully dedicated to doing this one thing, helping this one type of client, I wouldn't refer my clients out to a dealership. There's just too much risk. So Ash Auto Group is actually one of the highest rated used car dealerships in the country. Google has the average dealership rating for used cars at 3.2. We're actually at 4.9. All of our reviews are coming from bankruptcy clients nationwide. So you can have the auto consult, you can be unique, you can be different, but reviews are really going to tell the story. And if you're a used car dealership, you cannot hide from the internet. If there's a bad experience, people want to scream as loud as they can about it. And the reviews are the way they do that. So we're very proud that we're 4.9 out of 5 stars on Google. We work very hard for every one of those. And if you read them, they're not just 5 stars and a click. They're actually really heartfelt stories from people nationwide about how we were able to help. And it's something that, every person that works at this company is very proud of.
I recommend people watch this video, Google Scottsdale Ferrari. Okay. Scottsdale Ferrari has 4.7 star reviews. Ash Auto Group, located like 2 miles away, has 4.9, a used car dealership. It literally says it on Google. Yeah. And it's pretty extraordinary. And, one of the reasons that I believe that's the case also is you care for the debtor because you care for the debtor attorney.
Yeah.
Like there's a distinction here, right? Like, a lot of dealerships, it's like, oh, when's this person ever going to buy a car from me again? Right. Next. Something doesn't go right. Okay, sorry, you're outside of your warranty. You didn't do this. But you're taking the long view with the debtor attorney. And I've seen that happen to you specifically, where you had to make judgment calls on service because it's not just the client, you're dealing with the debtor attorney as well. So
you're right. I mean, we really have 2 clients on every transaction. We have the bankruptcy filer that we're helping, and we have the firm that referred them. And we work for both of them equally.
Okay, so number 1, the vernacular bankruptcy. 2, the car consult. 3, who you're referring, the trust. What's number 4? The 4th way you help debtor attorneys.
We have the lowest auto loan default rates in the country for any bankruptcy dealership out there, with the top 3 lenders that are in the bankruptcy auto lending space. And, the reviews, something we work very hard on, very proud of, but really this is the piece that we are most proud of. We have the data behind it that shows that we are really setting these clients up for financial success any way we possibly can. And it's easy to say, we've got the lowest default rates. And what that means is we're an independent dealership. We're not a big franchise. But because our auto loan defaults with bankruptcy filers are the lowest out there, we get special financing, we get approvals other dealerships can't get. We get franchise dealership rates and different things. And that's a combination. It's kind of it is similar to a review, because in order to get a 5-star review, you have to have every aspect of the process: customer service, vehicle, warranty, gap insurance, all of that has to be executed flawlessly. And it's the same thing with having a bankruptcy filer really be able to make their payment over the long term and be set up for success in that space. So it's many factors that lead to the low auto default rates. First thing, and most important, next to a home loan, our auto loans are probably the fastest credit building weapon these filers are going to have available. First payment is going to start rebuilding the credit. Two, they've got to have a great vehicle. So we actually purchase our vehicles. We bring everything in house. We go through 2 to 3 weeks of reconditioning a lot of times. We have full mechanic staff here. Anything that's even close to needing to be replaced, we replace it. Tires on almost everything we sell, it's got new tires on it. We really go through these inside and out, and we have to. We're selling, our clients are just filing bankruptcy, and they're all over the country. So we spend about double the industry average on reconditioning costs to make sure our clients are set up for success. Interest rates, another huge factor in people being successful with their auto loans. So, most dealerships, if they can handle a bankruptcy client, they might have one lender they use. We actually have about 7 different ones that we have relationships with, and we'll send our deals to all the different banks we work with to get the lowest rates possible for our clients. Every vehicle comes with a full 2 year, 36,000 mile warranty. Assurance is the company we use. It's one of the top in the industry. They can take their vehicle anywhere that it does warranty work in their local market. And also gap insurance, so that if their vehicle gets totaled, heaven forbid, but we see this a lot, unfortunately, we help them file a gap claim and they can get into a replacement vehicle. So everything we sell comes with a great warranty and gap insurance. Our clients don't have to take time off work to get a vehicle from us. Bankruptcy filers need to be at work. They're digging out, they have bills to pay, they're trying to claw their way back. And everything's done online, so they don't have to go, shopping on the weekends or during the week and take time off. And even their plates are delivered in the mail, so they don't have to go to the motor vehicle department and stand around there and waste a day doing that. So we've kind of thought all these things through to try to set them up for success every way possible. And the last point that is might be one of those critical, we actually have departments set up here for post-sale items when they arrive. So if someone has a warranty question or their vehicle's at a shop and they need some assistance, we've got a department that helps with that. Title or registration questions, we've got a department after the vehicle's sold that'll answer those questions. Gap insurance, if they get into an accident and they're not sure how to file a claim, we've got folks that are here to help with that. So every other dealership out there, don't call me unless you're buying another vehicle. We actually have departments set up to make sure people are successful after the vehicles are sold.
All of it contributes to a low default. But what I love most about that, and you didn't say it, but I just want to bring where my mind goes, is once again, you're not jamming people into cars that they shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like you're honoring the debtor. And I think that is like what I love about you guys, right? Because if you cared about the sale, and oh man, fingers crossed, they make 3 payments, so I'm out of it. Like a lot of dealers, right? Where, there's no clawbacks and this, if they paid for 3 months, you are getting people into a product that they can afford, they're going to be proud of, and it gets them to work, et cetera, et cetera. So I love that. So kudos.
Well, I think we have an obligation and a responsibility to protect the filers. And I truly believe that. And, we get a lot of folks that call in and the first question is, where do you keep the Escalades? And these are bankruptcy filers. So our process, and again, this is something that completely separates us from other dealerships. Anyone that's bought a car knows you show up, they try to get you fixed on the shiny object. Don't worry about the price. We'll get to all that later on, get an emotional attachment. Our process is let's get an application, let's get a pre-approval, let's get a budget. And then within that budget that makes sense for you, let's pick out the perfect vehicle.
Flipped it completely up. Completely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number 5 is going to be, we can actually help generate revenue for the firms that refer to us, which, sounds probably a little bit interesting coming from a car dealership. But we've rolled out recently, really over the last 6 months, our vehicle redemption program, which is a great option for clients that would really like to keep their vehicle. And again, it's a smaller set. Most folks filing bankruptcy, they haven't been able to maintain their vehicles and it makes sense to replace them. But for the ones that that it does make sense to try to hold on to that vehicle, we can do a redemption. And if you're not familiar with that, it's essentially, taking their current vehicle, they keep it, and we refinance that at current market value versus what they owe. And we've had clients that they owe 30,000 on their vehicle, and we can do a redemption and it's only worth 15 now and refinance it at $15,000 value, lower interest rate, much lower monthly payment. And the firms get compensated for their time. We'll pay up to $900 for a redemption to get the motion filed to get it processed. So clients are extremely happy. The firms are working with us on these are extremely happy. And it's just a great option. It's a great complement to our replacement program.
Why choose Ash for redemption as opposed to like a 722?
Yeah. So, great question. And we're in the redemption space because the market kind of was demanding another option other than what was out there. And competition is always a good thing. But yeah, we've got examples where, we've quoted valuations of the vehicle, the redemption vehicle, $3,000 or $4,000 higher, interest rates sometimes up to 8% less than what the others are quoting for the exact same vehicle, the exact same client. So we spent a lot of time developing our program. We've got great financing options. And at this point in time, when we have motions filed, with our legal partners that are filing the motions for their clients, we've got a 100% success rate on actually getting the financing done and getting the redemption pushed through, which was another complaint that we'd heard. So yeah, we feel very good about the product we're putting out there. We've been working on it for years before we actually offered it to the marketplace.
Does it cost anything for an attorney to submit to get a redemptive price? Like I'm not sure, forgive me for not knowing how this works, but if I'm a debtor attorney and I know my client's going to try to redeem their car, what do they can they give it to you and 722 or what's the process?
I mean, they can. So the legal process, and we work with firms all the time that have not done a redemption before, and we're kind of set up to walk them through that. So basically, we'll get our client referred over. They're interested in redemption. We'll make sure that the financing works, that the vehicle works, and then we can actually send a sample redemption motion to the firm. So kind of give them an outline of what it needs to look like, as well as the exhibit, which is going to be the appraisal to justify the current market value of the vehicle. So we provide both of those things. The firm will actually file the motion with that exhibit. A lot of times, the initial filing, they'll push back a little bit. We'll supply some additional information to the firm. They'll file that, and then the redemption will go through. So other than the filing of the motion and the response, it's really a turnkey solution.
No doubt about it. If you're whoever you're using for redemptions, like they can try one for you to see if you beat the interest rate and the value. Okay. That's number 5. Number 6.
Yeah. So we, about 10% of our clients every month are generated from bankruptcy client to bankruptcy client referrals, meaning we help a bankruptcy client get a vehicle and they tell other filers to, seek out Ash Auto Group, or more importantly, seek out the firm that referred them to Ash Auto Group to file their case. So, we hear this feedback from firms we work with across the country that Ash Auto Group is actually generating referrals for their practices. So 10% is a pretty high number in terms of our monthly volume generated from bankruptcy to bankruptcy client referrals. And yeah, it's just kind of a side product that we weren't expecting, but it's consistent feedback and something we're very proud of. We can actually generate more business for the firms that are sending their clients to us. So it's pretty cool.
We've always talked about how when someone rebuilds after a bankruptcy, they feel redeemed. Like they're no longer embarrassed about bankruptcy, right? And a new car is a walking billboard.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're proud of it. Like, how it is. You've seen the selfie videos that they've sent to you, that they take the picture in front of the car. Like they love the car, right?
Yeah.
And that it's a process. Debtors know debtors.
Yeah.
So they're like, wait, how'd you get this car?
Yeah.
I thought you were in debt. Yeah, I filed bankruptcy. You got a car too? That's the process. So awesome. That's number 6. And lastly, number 7 on helping debtor attorneys. How do you do it?
Yeah. And 7 is equally important, maybe the most important, speed to filing. So we find, and the feedback again from firms across the country, is that when we do auto consults or when we talk to these clients, early in the process. I always say, people ask when to refer. A lot of dealerships don't want to even talk to a client until they're discharged. We like to talk to them even before they're filed, if possible, so that we can do an auto consult, put them at ease with the filing process, and really clear the pathway. So it makes it much easier on the firms. And we find that when we do an auto consult, if it's a Chapter 7 filer, if it's a 13, as soon as a firm feels like they're going to retain that client for services, we do an auto consult, we get their questions answered, we get them excited. They reach back out to the firms and say, hey, do I need to make a payment? Can I get my filing date bumped up? What other documents do you need? And this is consistent feedback. So when we are inserted early in the process, it really helps clear that path to speed to filing, which is obviously huge, a time savings, and really gets them through faster, which is a good thing for everybody.
Speed to filing is the key to a profitable debtor firm. I mean, whether a client files in 30 days or 180 days, the difference of profitability on a 30-day filer is like over and beyond. And think about it. When any of us have bought a new car, it's sort of fun. It's a charge. When a debtor who's like considering bankruptcy, not really realizing they get a car, says, you can get a car, take a pick. Here's what you're qualified for. Let me tell you, they'll put the paychecks stubs together. They'll file their tax returns, et cetera, et cetera. Speed to filing, my favorite. One of my favorites, I guess I should say. Jonas?
Especially if they're barely getting by on the road, or if
Yeah.
they don't have a car that works at all, which many of these folks are in such tough situations. That speed to filing after they do a consult, figure out there's a better option or an option that they didn't know they had. Speed to filing it's a big deal, and it's a real one.
Thanks so much, Jonas. Appreciate you being on the show, and congratulations on what you built.